It was 3:58 in the morning. The whole world was asleep. But Marcus, he couldn't close his eyes. Not because he wasn't tired. He was exhausted. Tired in his bones. Tired in his soul. He sat on the cold floor of his one-room apartment, back against the wall, bills spread out in front of him like a map of everything that had gone wrong. The lights had been cut off 3 days ago. His phone was at 4%, and the only light in the room was a single candle he found in a kitchen drawer. He looked up at the ceiling and whispered something he hadn't said in years. God, if you're still there, I need you tonight. Marcus grew up in a small town where the roads were unpaved and the dreams were even harder to hold on to. His father left when he was 6. His mother worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on, the same lights Marcus now couldn't afford. He had promised himself he'd be different. He studied hard. He worked harder. At 24, he moved to the city with 2 bags, $300, and a fire inside him that nobody could put out. For a while, it worked. He got a job at a shipping company. Small, but steady. He saved every peso, every dollar, every coin. He even started a small delivery business on the side. People called him ambitious. His mother called him her miracle. But then, one Tuesday morning in February, everything changed. The company he worked for closed overnight. No warning, no severance, just a locked door and a note on the wall. His savings lasted 4 months. His business lost its biggest client in month 5. By month 7, he was here, on this floor, with this candle, with this prayer. He didn't know how to pray anymore. Not the fancy kind, not the rehearsed kind. So he just talked. Lord, I don't have anything left to offer you. No victory to report, no breakthrough to celebrate. I'm sitting in the dark, and I don't know if tomorrow is going to be better. He paused. The candle flickered. But I remember what my mother used to say. She said, the night is darkest right before the light breaks through. And I'm choosing to believe that. He stayed there for what felt like hours, not asking for money, not asking for a miracle, just asking for the strength to get up one more time. And somewhere in that silence, something shifted. Not the bills. The bills were still there. Not the phone. It died at 2%. Not the apartment. It was still dark and cold. But something inside Marcus's chest, something that had been locked up for 7 months, quietly opened. Peace. Not the peace that says everything is fine, but the peace that says, you are not alone in this. He fell asleep on that floor, and when morning came through the crack in the curtain, Marcus didn't feel fixed, but he felt ready. There's a difference, you know. Fixed means the problem is gone. Ready means, I can face it anyway. He borrowed a neighbor's phone charger. He sent one email he had been putting off for weeks. A former client, someone he had helped 2 years ago. He typed simply, I'm available. If you still need someone, I'm here. 3 hours later, a reply. Marcus, I was just thinking about you. I have a project. When can you start? He stared at those words for a long time. Not because it solved everything. One project doesn't erase 7 months of struggle, but because it reminded him of something the midnight prayer had already whispered. God doesn't always remove the mountain. Sometimes, He just gives you the strength to climb it. Maybe you're watching this at midnight right now. Maybe you're on your own floor, your own dark room, your own pile of problems. I want to say something to you directly. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The pressure you feel right now, it is not the end of your story. It is the weight room where your strength is being built. Every person you admire, every person who seems to have it all together, had a midnight, had a floor they sat on, had a prayer they whispered when they had nothing left, and they got up. Not because the circumstances changed first, but because they decided, before the breakthrough came, that they were still worth fighting for. So are you. What is the one step you've been avoiding? The one email, the one call, the one moment of honesty? Take it today, not tomorrow. Today. Because midnight doesn't last forever. It never does. Marcus's story didn't end that morning. There were still hard days ahead. Still moments of doubt. Still bills. Still fear. But he never forgot what the midnight taught him. That sometimes the bravest thing you can do is get on your knees in the dark and choose to believe that morning is coming. Grind, grow, repeat. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs it tonight. Subscribe for a new story every single day, and leave your prayer request in the comments. This community prays together. God bless you. See you tomorrow.